friends, this is Srinivasulu, branch of CSC, Ashankara Institute of Science and Technology, Gudu. This is my mobile application development tech talk presentation video. In this video, we can explain that what is mobile application development and how to design the apps and features of apps. Mobile application development overview. Definition: history of mobile application, current state of mobile application, the future of mobile application development. Mobile application definition. A mobile application or mobile app is a software application designed to run on smartphones, tablet computers and other mobile devices. In the mobile applications we are running smart mobiles, tablets and computers and also other mobile devices also. History of mobile application development. The history of the mobile application begins obviously with the history of the mobile device and the first mobile phones whose microchips required the most basic of software to send and receive voice calls. But since then things have got a lot more complicated. PS7 Epoch, Palm OS, W Machine Learning, J2ME, JME, Symbian. PS7 Epoch is the oldest mobile application used like calculators. First device launched in early 19th, used in PCONs as SIBO, 16-bit operating system devices, used OPL, Open Programming Language, formed the basis of Symbian. We can use them this PCN epoch in early 19th states. Palm OS. Palm OS, also known as Jarnet OS, is a mobile operating system initially developed by Palm Inc. for personal digit assistants PDS in 1996. Palm OS was designed for easy of use with a touchscreen based graphical user interface. We can see the picture in the photo. In next, wireless markup language WML script. Wireless markup language was based on XML and HTML. The WML documents are divided into a set of cards, each representing one unit of interaction between the user and the user agent. Instruction embedded within the cards may invoke services on origin services. Several cards are grouped into a deck. T TE basic WML unit that origin server can send to a user agent. J2ME JME designed for embedded system and mobile platform. Java ME technology was originally created in order to deal with the constraints associated with the building applications for small devices. For this purpose, Oracle defined the basis for Java ME technology to fit such a limited environment, make it possible to create Java application running on small devices with limited memory, display and power capacity. Java ME spanned an open source implementation, Mica VM, which contains the class libraries for implementing the connected devices configuration. JME was the disputed king of mobile platforms. It is used in the Bada and Symbian operating systems and implementation existed for Windows CE, Windows Mobile and Android. Symbian. The mentioned earlier Symbian grew output of the PCON Epoch operating systems. Originally developed by Symbian Ltd, a joint venture of PSION, Ericsson, Motorola and Nokia, the operating system was almost ubiquitous. In 2009, 250 million devices were running Symbian, like old smartphones. Current state of mobile application development. Native and non-native frameworks. Native application environment. Android, iOS, Windows Phone 8, BlackBerry 10. Non-native application environment. PhoneGap, Titanium Mobile. Android. Based on the Linux kernel, Android started life a proposed advanced operating system for digital cameras until the company released that the market was limited compared to that for mobile phones. The Open Handset Alliance unleashed the Android operating system in 2007, nearly 2 years after Google acquisition of Android. The launch of Google's foray into the mobile world was delayed. The launch of the iPhone, which radically changed consumers' expectations of what a smartphone should do. iOS. Apple's iPhone set the standard for the new generation of smartphones when it was first released in June 2007 with its touchscreen and direct manipulation interface. There was no native SDK until February of 2018. Apple initially planned to provide no support for third-party apps. In Android was third-party apps are accessed, but iOS was third-party apps are not accessed and not worked. The iOS lineage started with NEXT step, next step, an object-oriented multitasking OS from the last 18th developed by Next Computer acquired by Apple in 1996. The world's first web browser was developed on Nextstep and proved hugely influenced in the formative years of HTML. The main programming language for iOS is Objective-C. Developed is done through Xcode IDE, which has an inbuilt iOS simulator. Windows Phone 8. The second generation of the Windows Phone operating system uses the same Metro interface but has updated architecture based on the Windows NT kernel like Windows 8 rather than Windows CE, which was used as the basis for Windows Phone 7. You can develop for Windows Phone 8 only a system running Windows 8 using Visual Studio 2012 as an IDE, which were allowed to choose between XAML, Directed 3D or a mixture for building UAS. You can write C++, Visual Basics apps on top net, and you can use C++ for native code. Publication is less flexible. Apps need to be put through a review process before being allowed into the store similar to iOS. The low take up of Windows Phone makes this process seems rather than obvious. BlackBerry 10, originally named BBX BlackBerry 10, is based on the QNX microkernel operating system whose parent company RIM acquired in 2010. BlackBerry 10 uses a system of gestures and touches which is supported to make physical buttons unnecessary for core functions. Example, a back or home button. The OS also has an Android runtime layer so that Android apps can packaged and disrupted on the BlackBerry platform. The latest versions even allow the direct download of apps via Google Play. Native application development utilizes an API library in C, and a native API is C, C++. Through you can eschew C++ coding through the WebWorks framework, HTML5 and JS, Adobe AI or Java itself. Again, the publishing process is rather onerous. 10 business days are required to approve your app. Non-native application environments. It is of course possible to sidestep the issue that come with the developing native app by instead developing web apps for use of the mobile devices. The advantage of the development web-based are clear. You immediately solve with the proliferation problem. You can write once, run anywhere, and you can use common web-based languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for web development front-end usage. Some frameworks allow you to build hybrid apps which are not truly native since their layout rendering is done via web views are totally web based since they replaced for distribution and have access to native APIs. The disadvantages of hybrid apps are that you only get limited access to the native functionality of the phone on which the app runs and that such apps are usually slower than pure native apps. PhoneGap. PhoneGap supports most major platforms iOS, Android, BlackBerry, Windows Phone, PalmWebOS, Bada and Symbian and allows developers to make use of native hardware features like accelerometers, compasses, and cameras. A cloud-based compilation engine, PhoneGap build generation compatible apps for all supported platforms, but rejection of PhoneGap built apps by the Apple App Store is still a frequent issue. It is based on Apache Cordova, which also underpins the affordable WebWorks. Titanium Mobile, iOS, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Phone apps can all now be created via Applications Titanium framework. Application source code is interpreted on the mobile device using a JavaScript engine. Rihanna and Android and BlackBerry JavaScript and on iOS. Titanium provided fast result, making it is a popular prototype tool, but as with the phone gap, performance issue abound and a code framework is often required. Example, if iOS then. The futures of mobile application development. Wearable technology. Miniaturization has made wearable that once would have been unthinkingly cumbersome. Symbostical computers and communication devices can now be incorporated into wristbands, glasses, or even clothes themselves. Oh, and the market of wearable tech is estimated to exceed American 12 billions by million by 2018. Google Glass. Released to developers in 2013, Google Glass is a augmented reality device that is set to get a consumer launch at some point this year. David Thompson has seen a demo of Glass and his opinion that while the product still has a long way to go before fulfilling the promises of genuine AR, the possibilities are exiting. If can record images and videos and can almost the entirely controlled by the voice alone when it in operation. Galaxy Gear. Samsung smartwatch, like most smartwatches released to date of Pebble and Smartwatch 2, met with a universally poor reception when released in September 2013. Fuel Band. The Nike Plus Fuel Band was a simple but effective foray into the wearable tech space for the sportwear manufacturer. The fuel band is worn on the wrist and track physical activity, allowing users to and compare status via the Nike Plus online community. And thank you to all giving this great opportunity for me. Thank you to all.